Sweet buttery Baratheons, you guys. Last Sunday's epic Game of Thrones finale was 69 minutes of pure mic-dropping majesty. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, what's wrong with you? So you should know we're gonna get awfully spoilery up in here, so now's your chance to make like Gendry and row the hell on out of here. Are you gone? Good. Alright, now let's talk about Varys, shall we? Everyone's favorite chrome-domed, rope-sporting eunuch spy master made some major moves in the Winds of Winter. Except there was one major question left hanging. How in the seven hells did he get from Marine to Sunspear to the middle of the freaking ocean in what seemed like a few short minutes? Well, according to one fan theory, it's because he's secretly a merman. That's right, a merman! And that's exactly what we're gonna talk about on today's episode of The Dan Cave. Now, before we go down this underwater rabbit hole, let's get the logical argument out of the way, shall we? Dorne is on the southeastern tip of Westeros. It's basically the Florida of Westeros, which, considering their affinity for rampant murder, putting poison in their bodies, and garish costumes, is an apt comparison. Marine, on the other hand, is located across the narrow sea to the southwest in Essos, so naturally, they have to pass by Dorne en route to King's Landing. Make sense? Good. That's the logical answer. But logic is boring. What's way more fun is the crackpot concept that Varys is a mother-flippin' merman. The theory, which was brought to my attention by the awesome Joanna Robinson of Vanity Fair and the Cast of Kings podcast, has actually been around for quite some time. It originated from a poster named Nightflyer on a Song of Ice and Fire wiki. Now, first of all, mermen, or merlings as they're known in A Song of Ice and Fire, are an established part of the lore. Denizens of Lannisport and Old Town claim to have met merlings. The Merling King is worshipped as a deity. In fact, there's even a statue in his honor in the House of Black and White in Bravos. And there's a house in the north that has, you guessed it, a merling on its shield. All starting to add up, huh? And I mean, sure, the notion of fish-tailed sea monsters may seem like an old salt wives' tale, but as we've learned over the course of 5 books and 6 seasons of TV, stranger things have happened. Like a shadowy demon baby powered by the blood of kings emerging from Melisandre's downstairs mix-up and murdering Renly Baratheon. You know, that old chestnut. That old demonic Kingsley Lady Cavern dwelling chestnut. So we've established that merlings exist in Westeros. But why Varys specifically? Why is he a merling? Well, the root of the theory begins when Arya is stalking Varys in Illyrium Apatis in King's Landing. Arya hears water dripping in the distance, which, you know, King's Landing, creaky, leaky place, not that weird. But next she observes the 2 rotund, berobed gentlemen emerging from what George R. R. Martin terms a well. She trails them for a while, but ultimately loses them where the sewers empty out into the river. Okay, Varys disappears all the time. I mean, he's basically a portly robe-covered Batman in that way. Is it because he has a strange fish-like tail, perhaps? Who knows? I mean, plus he's well known to be a eunuch. Or so he claims. I mean, maybe that's just a cover story he tells to dissuade looky-loos from taking a peek at his coral reef. Or whatever fish genitalia is called. I don't know. What makes their disappearance even curiouser, though, is that both Varys and Illyrio are described as abnormally large men who happen to be light on their feet. You know, maybe they're just good dancers. Or maybe their secret is some sort of merling strength they don't want us to know about. Plus, they have no problem navigating the labyrinthine tunnels beneath King's Landing because they can swim through the myriad waterways using their fishtacular mer powers. The theory notes that in the book, Varys is said to have a peculiar slimy smile, which could mean that he just has resting fish face, or that he's trying to hide his razor-sharp piranha teeth. Those razor-sharp teeth would be ideal for devouring human flesh, wouldn't they? After all, Brienne warns us of squishers, which are fish-like creatures that stalk the land and eat human flesh. And Varys also purportedly licked his lips when the subject of eating people once came up. This is according to some people who believe this theory, although I can't find it myself, but I gotta say, doesn't sound that out of character for this bald monster man. And speaking of human flesh, do you remember Lord Manderley? Well, in the book, he supposedly murdered Rhaegar, Simon, and Jared Frey and baked them into meat pies, which he then served and ate at Ramsay Bolton's wedding. And guess what his house sigil is? Remember the beginning of the episode? It's a merling with dark green hair and a black trident. And then there's the time that Tyrion threatened to throw old Varys into the sea, and the spider replied, "You might be disappointed in the results." Disappointed? Why, because you're a mythical sea creature? And remember Varys' bedroom in King's Landing? Oh, you know the cozy place with no bed in sight, except for a giant stone slab that's a secret trapdoor to escape the palace? Well, where does he sleep? According to Mer-truthers, it's either in the bath or the waters beneath the city, or maybe not at all. We don't know enough about merling sleep habits. Either way, it's weird to have a bedroom without a bed, because then it's just a room. But I have to say, my favorite part of the theory is Varys' motivations. Nice, Dan. That's so stupid. So why do Varys and Illyria want dragons on their side? Why have they thrown in their lot with Daenerys Targaryen? Well, it's quite simple. If you bring dragons north to help fight the impending White Walker hordes, you'll not only save the day, but you'll also melt the ice, causing massive ice melt. This arcane global warming could, in fact, raise the sea levels across Westeros, resulting in, you guessed it, more real estate for Merlings. That's right, the entire saga of Game of Thrones could be an elaborate Mer scheme to expand their territory. And what place is high enough to survive a biblical flood like this? The Eyrie. And who rules the roost in the Eyrie? Peter Baelish, aka Littlefinger, a man who claimed to have Varys under control, and who chartered a Braavosi ship known as the Merling King to ferret himself away from the Purple Wedding. And maybe that name wasn't just for the ship, maybe it was in reference to himself. Maybe he will become the Merling King, working in cahoots with these secret mer people, because after all, who needs an Iron Throne anyway when you've got one that isn't completely submerged by ice-cold water? Anyway, the plot thickens, you guys. The plot thickens like so many Frey children, and so many meat pies, and so many ovens. Which, if you're keeping track at home, is a lot of Freys getting fried. Actually, I don't know. They probably bake the pies. But what do you guys think? Is Varys secretly a merman? Is geography the real answer to all of our questions? Will the horrible truth be revealed sometime in Season 7? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, give me an ultra fishy thumbs up. That's all for today's show. Join me next time when I talk about the story of Nicolas Cage trying to stop a plane full of spooky ghosts, spirits, and demons from landing on the Las Vegas Strip in the Conjuring 2. Until next time, keep on digging. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? @Shorster asks, if you were a famous cartoon animal, which cartoon animal would you be and why? The answer is simple, my friend. I would be CatDog. I've been called an abomination by some, physically repugnant by others, and Kyle Hill has to use science to explain how I poop. @BFaze asks, what's the likelihood of Jaime turning on Cersei as she'd become the Mad Queen and drove the remaining child to suicide? Oh, it's off the freaking charts, my friend. Remember why Jaime killed King Aerys Targaryen in the first place? To prevent him from detonating wildfire and having a King's Landing barbecue. Now though, Cersei has gone full-on monster, and not even their special sibling connection can save her. @Alfredo Pamina asks, best TV series that no one talked about or knew about, my example being The 10th Kingdom. Great question, Alfredo. I'll have to give a shout out to one of my favorite sketch shows of all time, That Mitchell and Webb Look. David Mitchell and Robert Webb's 4-season-long series is whip-smart, insanely funny, and deeply wacky in the best way. And because honestly, BMX Bandit and Angel Summoner are the superheroes we need right now. But tell me, what's your favorite underappreciated TV show? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.